The baby isn't yours, David. I watched my son's face crumble as I held the DNA test results. Jessica's smug smile vanished faster than free cake at Weight Watchers. If you're watching this, subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. Because, honey, you're about to hear how one gold digger met her match. 3 weeks ago, I wasn't special enough to see my grandson being born. Today, I'm the woman who exposed the biggest lie of my son's life. What I discovered about the real father changed everything. Let me take you back to Tuesday morning, when one phone call started Jessica's world crumbling. Jessica, hi. How are you feeling? When can I meet the baby? Long pause. Then that sickeningly sweet voice. Oh, Sandra, Connor's already here, born 3 days ago. My heart stopped. 3 days? Why didn't... We only wanted special people there. Her tone dripped fake sympathy. You understand. Special people. I'd raised David for 32 years, and I wasn't special enough for my grandson's birth. Surely now I can visit. We're not having visitors this week. New baby, you know? I hung up shaking. But Jessica's Instagram told a different story. Photos everywhere. Her parents holding Connor, her sister cooing over him. Even Tyler Brooks, David's best friend, bottle-feeding my grandson. Everyone was special, except the grandmother. The photo that stopped me cold showed Tyler holding Connor with the caption, Uncle Tyler already wrapped around this little guy's finger. Something about Tyler's expression, the way he cradled Connor like he'd done it forever, made my stomach clench. Then Jessica's cousin Marcus commented, Little dude looks exactly like me. Must run in the family? Marcus was right. Connor did look like him, but Marcus also looked remarkably like someone else. Someone who'd been spending suspicious amounts of time helping David's exhausted wife. That's when my nurse instincts kicked in. For 8 years, I was Sandra Mitchell, RN, and I knew things about genetics Jessica clearly hadn't counted on. See, Jessica made one crucial mistake. She thought she could manipulate everyone around her, but she forgot I wasn't just David's overbearing mother. I was a medical professional who delivered enough babies to spot inconsistencies from a mile away. The way Tyler handled Connor wasn't like a friend learning to help. It was like a father who'd been practicing for months. Jessica's secretive phone calls every morning at 6 a.m. weren't to her sister having boyfriend drama. They were damage control conversations with someone who had a lot to lose if the truth came out. And that comment from Marcus about family resemblance? Dead giveaway. Jessica's family had strong features, but Connor didn't look like Jessica's side at all. He looked like Tyler's side. Specifically, like Tyler. But I needed proof before destroying my son's world. Because accusing your daughter-in-law of paternity fraud isn't something you do on a hunch, even when that hunch is screaming louder than a smoke alarm. What happened next? Well, the universe has a twisted sense of humor. Just when Jessica thought she'd successfully isolated me from her perfect little family, fate handed me the exact opportunity I needed. A burst pipe, a sick baby, and one very revealing hospital visit were about to turn Jessica's carefully constructed lies into evidence that would change everything. But first, let me tell you exactly how this manipulative little princess had been playing my son for months before Connor was even born. Jessica Parker walked into our lives 6 months before Connor's birth like a hurricane in designer heels. 27, blonde, bubbly, the kind of woman who says babe to everyone and somehow makes it sound condescending. David fell harder than a drunk bridesmaid at an open bar. Me? I saw right through her from day one. Call it 64 years of experience with fake people, but something about Jessica screamed trouble louder than a car alarm. Mom, she's amazing, David gushed after their 3rd date. She really gets me. Oh, she got him all right. Got him exactly where she wanted him, wrapped around her perfectly manicured finger. The manipulation started subtly. Jessica would plan surprise dates during our weekly coffee meetings. She'd suggest David needed space to grow as a person. Translation, space from his allegedly overbearing mother. But the real damage began when she announced the pregnancy via group text. A group text. 32 years of being his biggest supporter. And I found out I was becoming a grandmother through a mass message, like I was some distant cousin. Can we celebrate with dinner? I asked when I called. Long pause. Jessica's voice in the background then. We're keeping things quiet, Mom. Jessica's been pretty tired. Too tired for his mother, apparently, but not too tired for Tyler, who I could hear laughing in the background during every phone call. That became the pattern. Every attempt to connect got blocked by Jessica's pregnancy needs. Too nauseous for lunch, too stressed for visitors, unless those visitors were Tyler, Jessica's family, or their trendy couple friends. I was demoted from mother to acquaintance, watching my son's life through social media like some stranger. Pregnancy is overwhelming, David explained during one rare conversation. Jessica needs calm energy right now. Calm energy. My excitement about my first grandchild was apparently too intense for delicate Jessica. But Tyler's energy? Perfect. Tyler helped with the nursery, went to appointments, provided emotional support, while David worked overtime to afford their bigger apartment. The isolation got worse as months passed. Weekly visits became monthly, then, "I'll call when I can, Mom." Jessica had successfully positioned herself as the gatekeeper to my own son. Then came the labor call. David's panicked voice. "Jessica's at the hospital, but she wants to keep it small." Small. My first grandchild's birth was going to be small, and I wasn't invited. 3 days of silence followed. 3 days of wondering if everything was okay, feeling like a stranger in my own family. That's when I made the call that started unraveling Jessica's perfect plan. We only wanted special people there. Special people. The woman who'd cut me out of every milestone was suddenly the authority on who deserved to be in Connor's life. But here's what Jessica didn't understand about mothers like me. We don't go down without a fight. And we definitely don't let manipulative little princesses destroy our families without consequences. What Jessica also didn't realize was that her social media strategy was about to backfire spectacularly, because while she was busy documenting her perfect life for the world to see, she was also creating evidence of lies that would soon come back to haunt her. What would you do if someone treated your family this way? Let me know, because what happened next was just the beginning. Jessica's Instagram became my investigation tool, and honey, she made it easy. Her feed exploded with baby photos. Connor sleeping, Connor being fed, Connor surrounded by gifts from wonderful people welcoming him into the world. Tyler featured in almost every post. "Uncle Tyler is smitten." She captioned a photo of him feeding Connor with suspicious expertise. But the picture that made my blood boil showed Connor's tiny hand gripping an adult finger, captioned, "Daddy's little fighter." Such a strong grip. Except when I zoomed in, that hand had a distinctive scar across the knuckle. Tyler's scar from a childhood accident I'd heard about countless times. Tyler's hand, not David's. Then came the comment that confirmed my suspicions. Jessica's cousin Marcus wrote, "Little dude looks exactly like me. Must run in the family." Marcus wasn't wrong. Connor did look like family. Tyler's family. Marcus and Tyler shared similar bone structure, and Connor had inherited those same features. But Jessica's lies were about to catch up with her, courtesy of a burst pipe. "Mom?" David's frantic voice called Thursday afternoon. "Our apartment flooded. Can we stay with you for a few days?" "Come home right now," I said without hesitation. An hour later, David walked through my door carrying the most beautiful baby I'd ever seen. Dark hair, serious blue eyes, absolutely perfect. "Mom, meet Connor." Looking at my grandson, I felt overwhelming love mixed with growing certainty that something was very wrong. Connor was gorgeous, but he looked nothing like David had as a baby. He looked like Tyler. Living with Jessica was like hosting a polite tornado. She charmed David constantly while treating me like hired help in my own house. But her behavior around Connor was the real tell. Jessica never let me hold him, always had an excuse. He just ate, might spit up. He's been fussy, needs mommy. Due for a nap soon. Meanwhile, Tyler got unlimited access. He could feed Connor, change him, rock him to sleep. Tyler could do everything I, as grandmother, was apparently too incompetent to handle. "Tyler's so natural with him," Jessica cooed as Tyler bounced Connor expertly. Too natural. Tyler handled Connor like someone with months of practice, not an uncle just learning. And Connor responded differently to Tyler than to David. With David, he was sweet but fussy. With Tyler, he was calm, content, like he recognized something familiar. The final clue came from Jessica's mysterious phone calls. Every morning at 6 a.m., hushed conversations that ended abruptly when anyone appeared. "Just my sister," she'd lie. Boyfriend drama. Except Jessica's sister worked night shifts in Portland, hardly convenient for dawn phone calls. One morning, I got up early and heard her pacing the kitchen. "No, you can't come here," she whispered urgently. "Sandra's already suspicious. Tyler, we have to be smart about this." Tyler. Jessica was coordinating with Tyler about avoiding my suspicion. That afternoon, Connor spiked a fever. "Sandra, can you drive us to the hospital?" Jessica asked, panic replacing her usual smugness. Hospital, where there would be medical records and blood work. Sometimes the universe has perfect timing. Jessica's careful lies were about to meet my medical knowledge, and only one of us was going to survive that collision. What I discovered at St. Mary's Hospital didn't just confirm my suspicions. It gave me ironclad proof that would destroy Jessica's world forever. But first, I had to decide whether to tell David the truth, even knowing it would break his heart. St. Mary's Hospital emergency room brought back memories from my nursing days. Controlled chaos and that unmistakable antiseptic smell. Connor's fever hit 101.8 degrees, serious for a 3-week-old. The intake nurse asked standard questions while Jessica answered with impressive detail. "Father's blood type?" the nurse asked. Jessica hesitated, barely a second, but I caught it. "O positive, same as mine." My nursing training kicked in immediately. Both parents O positive means the child must be O positive. Basic genetics, impossible to fake. But something nagged at me. Jessica had mentioned David's father was AB negative during earlier conversations, unusual enough that I'd remember. If David's dad was AB negative and I'm O positive, David couldn't be O positive. Either Jessica was lying about blood types, or Connor wasn't David's son. Dr. Martinez examined Connor thoroughly. "I'd like blood work to rule out infection." Jessica went pale. "Is that really necessary?" Standard protocol for newborn fevers. The blood draw was quick. But Jessica's hands shook afterward, not from new mother nerves. This was specific fear about blood work. While waiting for results, I took a bathroom detour past the nurse's station. Old habits die hard. I could read upside-down charts from 3 feet away. What I saw made my world tilt. Blood type. AB positive. AB positive. If both parents were O positive like Jessica claimed, their child could not be AB positive. Genetically impossible. But Tyler Brooks was AB positive. I'd overheard him joking about being a universal receiver during office blood drives. AB positive, just like Connor. "Doctor." Martinez returned with good news. "No infection. Simple viral thing. Should resolve on its own." As we left, he handed Jessica the blood work results. "For your records." She took them without looking, probably planning to discard them. But I'd seen everything I needed. The ride home was tense. Jessica seemed relieved, but shaken. I stayed quiet, processing information that would shatter David's world. But my son deserved the truth, even if it destroyed him. The next morning, I found David staring into his coffee cup like it held life's answers. "David, what's your blood type?" He blinked, confused. "A positive." "Why?" "Are you certain?" "Of course. Donated blood in college, insurance physicals, definitely A positive." I showed him Connor's hospital results on my phone. Connor's blood type is AB positive. If you're A positive and Jessica's O positive, Connor cannot be AB positive. It's genetically impossible. The words hung between us like a ticking bomb. David stared at the evidence, understanding dawning like a terrible sunrise. But that means either Jessica lied about blood types or Connor's father isn't who we think. I told him about the secretive calls, Jessica's hospital panic, how Tyler handled Connor with suspicious expertise. "Tyler's blood type is AB positive," I finished. "I heard him mention it." David went completely still. "My best friend, who's been helping while I work overtime to support his baby." "I think so. I need proof. DNA test. Before I confront anyone, I need absolute certainty." 3 days later, David held an envelope containing the truth about his marriage. His hands trembled as he opened it and read the single page inside. Probability of paternity, 0%. 0%. Connor wasn't David's son. "What do I do now?" he whispered. "Now you decide what kind of man you want to be." That evening would bring the confrontation that ended Jessica's lies forever. I made myself scarce when David got home, but the shouting carried through every window in the neighborhood. How could you do this to me? David's voice cracked with betrayal as Jessica's world crumbled in my living room. Those results are wrong, Jessica screamed back. Someone tampered with them. The audacity was breathtaking. Caught red-handed, she was doubling down on lies. Nobody tampered with anything. I collected the samples myself. Your mother hates me. She probably switched them or bribed the lab, actually blaming me for her deception. This girl had stones, I'll give her that. My mother isn't some criminal mastermind bribing DNA labs. She's been trying to break us up since day one. Jessica, stop. I know Connor isn't mine. The blood types, your behavior, Tyler being here constantly. Tyler's helping because he's a good friend. Good friends don't father their best friend's children. Deadly silence. Is Tyler Connor's father? David's voice dropped to a whisper. Another devastating pause. Jessica, answer me. David, I love you. Yes or no? More silence, then dramatic sobbing. Performance art at its finest. Answer me. Yes, she screamed. Tyler is Connor's father. Happy now? The silence that followed was deafening. How long? David barely whispered. 6 months. Maybe 7. The entire pregnancy. You were screwing him while pregnant with his baby and letting me think it was mine. It wasn't supposed to happen. What was the plan? Let me raise Tyler's son forever? That's when Tyler's voice joined the disaster. Jessica, what's the shouting about? Perfect timing, as always. Tyler, David said, his voice lethal. We were just discussing you. Did you know? When she got pregnant, did you know it was yours? Silence. Answer me. Yes, I knew. And you were going to watch me raise your son without saying anything? I couldn't take it anymore. I walked into my living room, where 3 adults were destroying each other over one innocent baby. Hello, Tyler, I said pleasantly. How lovely to see you. Tyler looked ready to disappear into the floor. Jessica was a mess of tears and smeared mascara, but that calculating look remained in her eyes. You know what's sad, Jessica? Connor deserves parents who love him enough to tell the truth. Instead, he got a mother who treats him like a meal ticket and a father too cowardly to claim him. Sandra, you isolated my son from his family, convinced him I was the problem, then used my grandchild as a weapon. Except he's not my grandchild, is he? David stood abruptly. I'm going for a drive. When I come back, I want you both gone. Take Connor and get out. The door slammed behind him. Well, I said to Jessica and Tyler, this is awkward. Jessica's desperate final moves were still coming. Tyler fled immediately, mumbling about giving Jessica space before vanishing like smoke. Jessica wasn't finished fighting. Sandra, please, she sobbed, clutching Connor. Help me fix this. Fix systematic deception and betrayal? That's not really my specialty, sweetie. David loves me. And Connor. David loved who he thought you were, and the child he thought was his. Neither exists. Biology doesn't matter when it comes to love. The girl's audacity could power a small city. You're right, biology doesn't matter, but honesty does. Trust does. You destroyed both. Jessica collapsed onto my couch, finally looking genuinely defeated. I never meant for it to happen this way. What way did you mean? Marry the stable one? Keep the exciting one on the side? Hope nobody noticed? Her silence was answer enough. Jessica, you're not evil. You're just a young woman who made incredibly selfish choices, and now you're facing consequences. What am I supposed to do? I have a baby, no job, nowhere to go. You have Tyler, Connor's actual father. Tyler doesn't want to be a father. He made that clear from the beginning. Well, that's between you and Tyler now. Sandra, desperation creeping into her voice. What if I told David everything? Promise never to lie again? Everything? There's more? Jessica's face went dead white. What else, Jessica? David's inheritance. I knew about his father's trust fund. Ice water in my veins. David's substantial inheritance that vested upon marriage and having children. So you weren't just trying to trap David. You were trying to access his money. I needed it. Student loans. Credit cards. I'm drowning in debt David doesn't know about. You married him, got pregnant with another man's child, and planned to steal his inheritance. It wasn't supposed to hurt anyone. You didn't give him a choice. David's car pulled into the driveway. Are you packed? he asked, walking in with grim determination. David, please. We talked. You lied for months, slept with Tyler, used a baby to access my inheritance. What's left to discuss? I can explain about the money. You married me for my inheritance while sleeping with my best friend and using his baby to unlock it. That's not marriage. That's fraud. He picked up her suitcase. Tyler's waiting outside. Go. I really did love you, she whispered. Maybe, but you loved yourself more. Jessica walked out, taking Connor with her. After they left, David and I sat in blessed silence. I feel like an idiot. You're not an idiot. You trusted your wife. That's what marriage should be. But we weren't done with Jessica yet. Desperate people do desperate things, and Jessica was about to get very creative with her revenge attempts. 3 days later, Jessica launched her social media revenge campaign. Her Instagram filled with heartbreaking posts about being a young mother abandoned by her family. When people show you who they really are, believe them. Connor and I are learning to be strong without the support we thought we had. Single mom life, stronger than yesterday. Each post got dozens of sympathetic comments from people who had no idea what actually happened. Jessica was painting herself as victim of cruel abandonment, not perpetrator of elaborate fraud. But social media pity wasn't paying her bills. David, I said, finding him staring grimly at his laptop. What's wrong now? Jessica's threatening to sue. He turned the screen toward me. Her email demanded David continue paying child support, claiming he'd established a parental relationship that created financial obligations. She wanted health insurance, rent money, and therapy for Connor's abandonment trauma. Therapy for a month-old's abandonment trauma. The girl's creativity was impressive. Can she legally do this? David asked. Let's find out. I called my sister-in-law, Rebecca, a family attorney specializing in exactly these situations. Rebecca reviewed Jessica's demands with professional skepticism. She's fishing. 3 weeks of acting as father while being deceived about paternity won't create financial obligations in most states. So she's bluffing. Her timeline doesn't add up. David lived with Connor 1 week after being systematically lied to. Plus, this abandonment therapy demand makes her look opportunistic rather than genuinely concerned. What do we do? Call her bluff. I'll draft a response making clear David isn't the father, was deceived about paternity, and any responsibility lies with Tyler Brooks. 2 days later, Jessica called David, sobbing. David, please, Tyler disappeared. He quit his job, gave up his apartment. I don't know where he went. Tyler's not my problem, Jessica. He's Connor's father. Finding him is your responsibility. I don't have money, can't afford rent, daycare, anything. You should have considered that before sleeping with someone who wasn't ready for fatherhood. Please, David. Not for me, for Connor. He doesn't deserve this. David's response made me proud. You're right. Connor doesn't deserve this. He deserves a mother who makes better choices and a father who takes responsibility. Unfortunately, he got stuck with you and Tyler. David, don't call me again. He hung up, hands shaking slightly. That was harsh, he said quietly. That was necessary. Jessica created this mess. Now she lives with consequences. But Jessica had one final card to play, delivered by the most unexpected messenger, Tyler's mother. Because when people get desperate, the truth comes from surprising places. Tyler's mother, Carol Brooks, called that Tuesday, voice shaking with emotion. Sandra, I need to talk to you and David. Can I come over? She'd been like family for 15 years, countless holidays, watching the boys grow from college friends into men. Today, she looked fragile, broken. Tyler came to see me 3 days ago, she began, barely whispering. He told me everything. David poured coffee while we waited. He's been running since Connor was born. He knew the baby was his, but never wanted to be a father. Thought if he disappeared, David would keep believing Connor was his. He was going to let me live a lie forever. David's jaw clenched. Yes, because he was too much of a coward to face responsibility. Carol pulled papers from her purse. But that's not why I'm here. Jessica's been blackmailing Tyler. My blood chilled. Blackmailing him how? The papers were text message printouts between Tyler and Jessica. Send me $800 for rent, or I'm telling David everything. Baby needs formula. $200 should cover it. Don't make me ask David instead. Saw a lawyer today. Want me to tell them who the real father is, or handle this privately? Pages of systematic extortion. She was bleeding Tyler dry while manipulating David for security, I said, pieces clicking together. When David discovered the truth, she lost leverage over Tyler, so she tried legal threats against David. When that failed, she gave Tyler an ultimatum: marriage or public humiliation. So Tyler ran. Rather than face consequences, yes, he quit everything and disappeared. Carol broke down crying, heartbroken sobs for the son who'd become someone she didn't recognize. I went to see Jessica yesterday, she continued through tears. You what? Wanted to tell her what I thought of someone who'd destroy 2 families for selfish purposes. What happened? She asked for Tyler's contact information. When I said I didn't have it, she wanted me to support Connor financially for Tyler's sake. She asked you to pay for Tyler's child? Said Connor was my grandchild. Didn't I want him to have a good life? Even in desperation, Jessica was working angles. I told her Connor deserved better than a mother who thought blackmail was acceptable parenting. After Carol left, David and I processed everything quietly. Tyler's vanished. Jessica's broke and desperate. Connor's paying the price, David said. That's about right. I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. She made her choices. Every step was manipulation over honesty, blackmail over responsibility. For the first time in months, David looked peaceful, free. You know what's funny? Jessica said she only wanted special people around Connor. The most special person was the grandmother she tried to keep away. How's that? You figured out the truth, saved me from living a lie, loved Connor enough to ensure he had an honest start, even knowing it meant losing him. 3 months later, we learned Jessica's final chapter. Sometimes karma writes better endings than revenge ever could. 3 months later, social media delivered Jessica's final chapter. Gone were her perfectly curated posts about single motherhood strength. Her last Instagram post was a grainy photo of a small apartment. New chapter, learning what really matters. The comments told the real story. Her sister, proud of you for finally getting help. Her mother, Connor deserves the stable life you're building. Getting help. Stable life. The master manipulator was apparently learning honesty. David learned the details through mutual friends. Jessica had been evicted when Tyler's blackmail money stopped flowing. With no income and nowhere to go, she'd moved back with her parents in Ohio. She's working at her dad's hardware store, David told me, living in her childhood bedroom, therapy twice a week. And Connor? Happy and healthy. Jessica's parents are helping raise him while she gets her life together. Despite everything, I felt relieved. Connor deserved stability and love. Any word on Tyler? David's expression darkened. Carol heard from him last month. He's in Seattle, working construction under a different name. Sends money occasionally, but wants no contact. So Tyler got his wish. Clean slate, no responsibilities. But running from problems doesn't make them disappear. How are you feeling about all this? I asked. Honestly? Free. David smiled genuinely for the first time since this mess began. I spent 2 years walking on eggshells, trying to make Jessica happy, wondering why nothing I did was enough. Now I know, because she wasn't capable of being happy with just me. And Connor? I'll always love that little boy. But he's not my son, and pretending otherwise wouldn't help anyone. David paused. The hardest part wasn't losing Connor. It was losing trust in my own judgment. Your judgment was fine. You trusted someone systematically lying to you. With help from my very smart mother who saw through it all, we sat in comfortable silence, watching sunset through my kitchen window. The house felt peaceful. No tension, no deception, just a mother and son who'd weathered a storm together. So what now? I asked. Now I rebuild. Find someone who actually loves me for me, not my bank account. He grinned. Think you can restrain yourself from scaring off the next woman I bring home? After Jessica, anyone genuinely honest will seem like an angel. And if she's not honest, then she'll learn this family doesn't tolerate deception. We've gotten quite good at spotting liars. David raised his coffee cup. To learning the truth, even when it hurts. To family that stands together against manipulative blondes in designer heels. We clinked cups, and everything felt exactly as it should. 6 months later, David brought someone new home. Mom, I'd like you to meet Sarah Chen. Sarah, this is my mother Sandra. The woman beside David was petite, dark-haired, with honest eyes and paint stains on her fingers. No designer clothes, no calculated charm, just genuine warmth. "Mrs. Mitchell, David's told me so much about you. I've been looking forward to this. All good things, I hope? He said you're the smartest woman he knows and that you saved him from making the biggest mistake of his life." Interesting. Most people would have gotten a sanitized version of the Jessica disaster. "David tells me you're a teacher?" "Elementary school, 3rd grade. Sarah's face lit up. "Chaotic and wonderful and exactly what I always wanted to do." She answered questions directly, made eye contact, didn't try to charm me or position herself as David's protector from his overbearing mother. When David took a work call, Sarah didn't suddenly change her demeanor or fish for family information. "Can I ask you something, Mrs. Mitchell?" "Of course." "David mentioned his marriage ended badly, that you helped him see the truth about someone lying to him. I want you to know, I'm not here to compete with anyone. I just really care about your son." "What exactly did he tell you?" "That his ex-wife cheated with his best friend and let him believe her baby was his when it wasn't. That you figured it out through medical knowledge and saved him years of living a lie. The whole truth." David had told her the complete, embarrassing, painful truth. "And that doesn't scare you?" "It tells me David comes from a family that values honesty over convenience. That's attractive." "Actually, when David returned, I watched them together. Sarah teased him about his terrible cooking. David laughed at her 3rd grade stories. They moved around each other comfortably, people who genuinely enjoyed each other's company. No performance, no agenda, no hidden motives. Just 2 people who liked each other." After they left, David called. "So what do you think?" "I think she's nothing like Jessica." "Is that good or bad?" "David Mitchell, that's the best possible thing I could say about any woman you bring home." He laughed. The real, full laugh I hadn't heard since before Jessica. "She's pretty great." "Isn't she? She seems lovely. But more importantly, she seems real." "She is real. What you see is what you get. No games, no hidden motives, no carefully crafted persona. And what does she want? Apparently me. Paint stains, trust issues, protective mother and all. You deserve someone who wants all of you. I know that now, thanks to a certain smart woman who wouldn't let me live a lie." A year later, I sat front row watching David marry Sarah in her parents' backyard. Sarah's vows were simple and honest. "I promise to always tell you the truth, even when it's hard. I promise to love your family as my own. I promise to never make you choose between people you love." As they kissed, I glimpsed Jessica's Instagram story on someone's phone. Connor, now walking and gorgeous, with the caption, "My beautiful boy is thriving, grateful for second chances and honest starts." Honest starts. Sometimes people really can learn from their mistakes. But I was more interested in the honest start happening in front of me. David had found someone who loved him without agenda, manipulation, or lies. Sometimes the most beautiful revenge is living well, loving honestly, and choosing truth over convenience. What would you have done in my situation? Let me know in the comments, because sometimes telling someone the heartbreaking truth is the only way to save their life. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share your story in the comments. Your voice matters.